What up, my fellow God gamers? In today's video, I'm going to be taking you guys through all the portals or the realms and tell you about what they do and how they can affect how you will play out the game. A lot of them don't really change how you would play out the game. They're just kind of like a little bit extra flair, a little bit extra flavor to the match. But a lot of them do actually really change how you play. And one thing before we get into it, I do want to say I do have a big bias as being a more of an aggressive style player. I like to play very aggressive in the early and mid stage of the game. I don't do a lot of soju specials. I do that sometimes, but when it makes sense. But I'm more of a player that leans into aggression in the game. So I do have that bias, but what I will say is a lot of these augments really benefit a lot of these realms really benefit a more aggressive playstyle, which makes complete sense to me because I feel like the developers are trying to make the game a little bit more interactive earlier on in the game versus just like your standard roll down intervals on stage 3, stage 4, that sort of thing. So I just wanted to say that up front. I do think a lot of these do favor a more aggressive playstyle, which is really good for us. We love that. All right, let's get into it. All right, we're going to go through each of them. So the Lavender Seed Void, starting on 2-1 after every carousel and PvE round, a Void Symbiote infects a new board hex. This hex gains 20% damage reduction if this is in the first 2 rows, or 20% increased damage if it's in the back 2 rows. This should not affect your playstyle at all. Really, every team comp you're going to play are going to have a high value frontline unit and a high value backline unit. Unless you're playing a pure frontline team, you're going to be able to get value from this no matter what. So really doesn't change anything at all. Just make sure you're checking each stage where the hex is moving and move accordingly for it. Okay, Yorick's Graveyard Shadow Isles. Every time a player dies, all players open an armory containing 4 of the eliminated players' completed items. Again, this is another one. Should not change your playstyle that much. Nobody plans to be the first one to die. No one plans to go 8th. So you should be able to get value on this regardless. However, I do think this maybe benefits aggressive players a little bit more because you will be getting extra items in the game. So you can feel a little bit safer about slamming items and not getting like the items you have to have because you can potentially get them from your opponents. All right, Zon Ecliptic Vaults. Every time you select an augment, gain 4 gold per augment you have. Okay, now this one is a little bit nuanced. So you can interpret this in 2 ways because 4 gold at the beginning of the game is very valuable. So you can interpret this in 2 ways. If you like to econ or you have like a bad opener and you're going to open for it, you're going to econ, this is going to help you hit your econ thresholds a lot easier. So you can leverage this. Like if you want to play a weak early game and you get the 4 gold and then you get the 8 gold on the stage 3 augment round, then you can play a style where you econ really hard in the early game, then spike really hard on stage 3 because you'll have a lot of gold on stage 3. That is definitely a viable play style for this and can be very strong. On the flip side, an extra 4 gold at the beginning of the game can allow you to get to level 5 early and still hit your econ thresholds that you want to hit. Still hit your like 10 gold econ thresholds on, you know, like 2, 3, that sort of thing. So those are the 2 ways I would think to play it. I think what you don't want to do on this one is you know, play somewhere in the middle, like win-loss, you know, not really commit to one side or the other. I think you want to commit to either playing really aggressive or commit to playing more econ style and then maybe spike on stage 3, you know, that sort of thing. I think those are the best ways to play it, but you know, it's not going to affect your game too much, but I think it's best to play one of those styles. Okay, Glass Industries, this is another Zon one. Every time you build a completed item, gain 3 gold. Now, this is for sure going to benefit a more aggressive play style. So gold is more valuable the earlier you get it in the game, because if you get 3 gold at the beginning of the game, that can allow you to hit your 10, your 20, your 30 threshold earlier. And the earlier you hit your 10, 20, 30 thresholds, the easier it is going to be to hit your 40 and 50 thresholds. You see what I mean? So it is definitely going to benefit a more aggressive play style by slamming your items and getting that extra gold. So aggression, guys. They want the game to be more interactive earlier on in the game. We love it. We love to see it, guys. All right, next up we have Void Rupture. So travel to a random location that is currently not shown. So it'll just be randomly one of these other ones. So nothing to talk about there. Okay, Unstable Rift. This is another Void one. Gain an unstable completed item that pops off and transforms into a random item every round. This really shouldn't change your playstyle too much. But again, it is another one that slightly favors more aggressive play. Because if you're slamming items, the way items kind of work is they have like multiplicative scaling. So like if you have 2 items on your carry and then you get offered a 3rd item that you can put on them, that's going to be like that 3 item carry. That 3rd item is going to value a lot higher than if it's just a third item on a champion is a lot more valuable than the first item on a champion. You know what I mean? Because the items compound on each other. So it is going to benefit a more aggressive playstyle again. Now, you know, you could just get items you can't use on that carry, obviously, or that tank or whatever. But so it doesn't change your playstyle too much, but it still slightly favors a more aggressive playstyle, which is very good for us. We love that. Okay, Targon Marius Omagnum. On 2-5 and 4-5, gain a Tactician's Crown. So I don't think this affects your early game too much. It is 2-5, so you will get it in the middle of stage 2. But I don't think this should change too much how you play stage 2. But just know that the game is going to be a lot more punishing on stage 3. I think you should really try to make a strong stage 3 board. So if you've played in past sets where the game starts with a Fawn or starts with a Tactician's Crown, you might know that most high elo players really don't like this opener, and it's because it kind of forces you into an aggressive play style. And if you just get a weak opener, then the game sucks. Like you're just getting punished. You're just getting 5-0'd if you get a weak opener. Like you're low rolling. So it feels really bad. So they moving it to 2-5 makes it feel a lot better, because if you go on a 3 loss, you know, that 3 loss doesn't feel that bad. You're not getting 5-0'd, but I mean, you get 5-0'd for 2 rounds, doesn't feel that bad. You can definitely go on a 5 loss. I just think when you're playing this, if you're not going to have a strong stage 2, you really need to have a strong stage 3. So really consider that if you go for a loss streak there. You do need to make something strong on stage 3 and something strong on stage 4, or you will get punished and will die very early in the game. Okay, Targon Prime. When you reach 40 HP, gain a blessing from the Targonian god. So this is the Stimmy. I believe this was set 5. Was this set 5 when they did Stimmies, or was it set 6? I don't remember. So if you guys didn't play those sets and you don't know how to play around Stimmy, this is how you play around Stimmy. You want to get your Stimmy before stage 5 is usually the best way to play the game. So if you have a weak early game, awesome. Go fast 7, go fast 8, get your Stimmy, and then complete your board. The reason why you want to do this is because the Stimmy can be a lot of gold, it can be a lot of items, it can be an emblem, it can be a tome, it can be an anvil, can come out of there, you know, whatever can come out of there. So it's better to get it earlier if you can, before you start trying to complete your in-game board, because it can help you get direction, as well as if you're like missing an item you think you have to have on a carry. Like let's say Infinity Edge is what you have to have on Aphelios, and so you don't have an Infinity Edge, but you have an Aphelios style board, and you're like, oh man, I can't play Aphelios. I have to play this. I have to play Kaisa now because I don't have the AD item. But then you get offered the blessing and an Infinity Edge, or the components I need for it. So whenever you play around Stimmy, you really want to try to proc it on stage 4. But if you're just winning every stage, then don't worry about it. You know, you're gonna top 4 regardless, right? If you won stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, you're guaranteed top 4, so don't worry about it. But if you're close to Stimmy, you really want to try to proc it before stage 5, so you can give you direction for your in-game board and get that extra power injection earlier on in the game if you're already kind of weak anyways. Okay, Targon the Summit. Starting at stage 2, gain a lesser champion duplicator at the start of each stage. Wait, what? Starting to gain a lesser champion duplicator at the start of each stage. Okay, on stage 5 and beyond, gain a champion duplicator instead. You will need to play aggressive with this. Yeah, this is going to benefit aggressive players. So yeah, you use your lesser champion duplicator, make a 2-star unit. You get to stage 3, make your 3 cost unit, right? So you definitely want to be playing aggressive with this. Now there is a world where you can hold on to these to like make your completed board perfect late game by saving some gold. But if you're playing against competent players, they're going to punish the shit out of you. You want to make stronger boards earlier on, because this is enabling people to make stronger boards. So, yeah. Okay, Shuriman Bazaar. Component carousels have 2 components on them instead of 1. Again, guys, I think this is another one where it slightly favors a more aggressive playstyle, because you can feel a lot safer about slamming early game items, like slamming like a Shiv, slamming a Warmogs, a Bramble, like slamming tank items. A lot of people are very averse to slamming tank items because they're really scared they won't get their carry items later. But if you're getting twice the amount of components on carousel rounds, you can feel a lot safer about slamming more early game-esque items, slamming more tank items, like having a 3-item tank early on in the game versus having a 3-item carry. You can feel better about that. And 3-item tanks, you know, they fuck in the early game, you know what I'm saying? So, benefits slamming your items, guys. Another one. Now, you can interpret this a different way. You know, you can just say like, oh, now I can get perfect items because I'll be getting more things like that. So if you want to play that playstyle, you can. But I just think it slightly favors a more aggressive playstyle again. Okay, Shifting Sand, Shurima. If you don't have an item remover on your bench at the start of each round, get one. Guys, this is another one that's going to favor a more aggressive playstyle. Now, you definitely don't have to play aggressive. This doesn't change your game that much. It really doesn't. So you can play however you'd like and play to whatever you're getting offered, that sort of thing. But if you want to play more aggressive, like let's say you're running Dead Eyes or something, you're running like Jin Akshan, and you have a Jin 2-star. So you put the items on Jin rather than Akshan, and then mid game when you roll a little bit, you hit your Akshan. You don't have to worry about remaking your Jin. You can just move the items over. And you don't have to worry about things like, oh, this item's going to be my in-game board. I don't want to have to worry about remaking them. I don't want to slam items on them because then I'll have to sell them. I'll have to remake them. So you just don't have to worry about that stuff. So you always want to put your items where they'll be most powerful each round. So yeah, you don't have to worry about like remaking units and that sort of thing. So yeah, just get as much immediate power as you can each round, unless you're trying to lose streak, of course. Okay, Shurima Warlord Palace. The 4/7 NPC round is replaced by an armory of treasure that can be re-rolled infinitely for 2 gold per round. So this is the treasure dragon from set 7. So what this can change for your game is you can play a little bit more aggressive on stage 4, I would say. So I'll bring the Aphelios example again. Let's say Infinity Edge is the best item on Aphelios. You have to have it, right? But let's say you're sitting on an Aphelios. You have a Rage Blade built already, and you have a sword and a bow, and you don't want to build your Giant Slayer because you're like, oh, I need the sword for the Infinity Edge, right? Well, you can just build the Giant Slayer, man, because you're probably going to be able to get whatever you want from this. And if you don't, then unlucky, and you're going to have to pivot off. Like you have Rage Blade Giant Slayer, you can pivot to Kaisa, whatever. You can pivot to a bunch of different boards now. So it's going to benefit more, like you want to play more aggressive on stage 4 with your item slams because you're probably going to be able to get whatever you want on stage 5. Now, again, there's nuance there. There's nuance to all this stuff. I'm not going to go into nuance of everything, but I'm just kind of giving you guys kind of like an overview on each of these. So, all right, Shadow Isles, Thresh's Sanctum. When any champion dies, collect their soul. Every 40 souls you collect, gain loot. Guys, another one. It's going to benefit more of an aggressive play style. So if you have a good opener, you have a strong opener, play more aggressive. You want to collect more souls. The more souls you collect, the better loot you get, or the more loot you get. So guys, play aggressive on this one. Stillwater, this is just no augments offered this game. I really hope they remove this from the game because there's going to be one person that stands on it and votes for it. And every now and then you're going to get a really boring ass game. Hope that gets removed. Okay, Piltover, the University. The first augment round will be a prismatic augment. Doesn't really change your game. It's just we're playing a prismatic lobby or playing a prismatic opener, whatever. So play around your prismatic, whatever. Okay, Immortal Bastion Noxus. On 2/1, gain a placeable battle flag that grants 20% attack speed and 10% max shield to units that start combat adjacent to it. I've been trying to play this one. Every time it's offered, I vote for it, and we have not gotten a chance to play it. Nobody ever votes for it. But this really shouldn't change your playstyle too much at all. It's just some good stats that will be good stats for every board, pretty much. I mean, attack speed, max health shield, everybody loves that. I guess it's slightly better on AD carries because they benefit slightly more from attack speed, but really this shouldn't change how you play the game very much. Okay, Noxus Noxcria. Every time you take an augment, a random arena hex appears. Units on the arena hex gain an item that they can use. So this shouldn't change your gameplay very much at all. I mean, it slightly favors a more aggressive playstyle because you have more power in the early game. So like, as we talked about with multiplicative scaling. So if you're slamming 2 items on a carry and the Noxus hex is on the back line, you have Rage Blade IE on Jin or something, and you slam those items. Well, Jin is now going to be a lot stronger because you slam those items because he's going to get a 3rd item. You see what I mean? So it slightly favors a more aggressive playstyle, but really this shouldn't change much how you play the game. Another thing to think about, it slightly favors like if you go for a chase trait, for example, if you go for like 6 Sork, it would be slightly stronger on that style of build because if you're going 6 Sorks, your 6 Sorks are getting a huge powerful buff, huge power buff because there's that getting that 6 threshold is much more powerful than 4. So those units have a lot of built-in power from their traits, but you just don't have items to put on like a unit like Vel'Koz, right? You're not gonna put items on Vel'Koz. But if you just have this like random, you know, you put Vel'Koz on the Hex, you know, you already have 3 items on your primary carry, you put Vel'Koz on the Hex, and Vel'Koz now has a Jeweled Gauntlet, well, Vel'Koz might pop off in that fight, you know what I'm saying? So slightly benefits verticals, but really I don't think this one should change too much how you play. All right, Positium Library, Ionia, gain a consumable on 3/5 when when you place it on a unit, opens an armory with an emblem of each of their traits. This shouldn't change too much how you play because you can play flex, you can do whatever. You're just getting an extra emblem. However, I will say it slightly favors verticals again. So I'll give the example of 6 Sorks again. That's a really big power threshold at 6 versus 4. And that can save you from having to play Malzahar or Orianna or some shit like that, right? So it can open up a slot on your board to still get that high chase trait value. So it can be good. It can be slightly better on verticals, but really shouldn't change too much how you play. Okay, Godwill's Grove, Ionia. A spot on your bench becomes the Grove. The unit in it contributes their traits as though they were in your army. This shouldn't change too much how you play. Again, you know, it's going to be slightly better on verticals, just like the logic we used before, where you can hit that 6 threshold, which is very powerful for Sorks. You know, a lot of other verticals have that same kind of like really high power threshold late on into the chase trait. So you can hit your chase traits a little bit easier without having to have random garbage on your board. So that's nice. But, you know, you can look at it the other way. Like, you know, if you're running a Sejuani just because she's a good unit and you're just running her for Freljord, you don't have Bruiser, hey, toss a Bruiser on your bench. She's your main tank. Make her a lot tankier, right? It can be great for that. If you don't know what to play, you almost always can fit Strategist. Like, if you're going to play Jarvan, who's the best unit in the game, if you have Jarvan there and you want to get Strategist in, you know, now you can just have a little Teemo on your bench. Very, very, very cool, right? So they can be good for that thing. Also, it's going to be really good if you have 3 trait units, you know, like a Teemo. Teemo's a 3 trader. So just consider those things. All right, the Dreaming Pool, Ionia. At the start of each stage, gain a champ that really fits your team. Another one that is going to greatly benefit a more aggressive playstyle. So as you can see, the devs with a lot of these realms are trying to make the game more interactive earlier on in the game, which is great for us because we are interactive Andes, baby. Yeah. All right. Orn's Forge. Randomly on either 2/5 or 3/5, gain an Ornn Anvil. So this doesn't really change much how you play. It's going to make people's stage 3 boards stronger. So just consider that. If you're playing on, you know, if you're playing the game and you're going to be weak on stage 3, just consider that you're probably going to get punished a little bit harder if people are slamming their items, assuming they're slamming their items. They should be on stage 3 with this realm. So just know that you're going to get punished a little bit harder on stage 3, but honestly shouldn't change your playstyle too much. Okay, Hearth Home, Freljord on 4/5, gain a consumable masterwork upgrade that lets you upgrade 1 equipped item into its radiant version. This is 4/5, so this really shouldn't change too much how you play. Just keep in mind, whenever you're playing this, you know, try to keep yourself up to date on what the best Radiant items are at the time, because there's huge variance between Radiant items on certain carries, on certain characters, and that sort of thing. So this is when we really want to maybe open up the stats and kind of be like, okay, well, I'm going to I have a Rageblade, i.e., Giant Slayer, or Felios. Okay, which one has the best stats? Or, you know, if a lot of people are playing high tank units, maybe it's just you make the Demon Slayer, right? But this is one where you really got to pay attention to what the meta is at the time to know which one you should make for it. Okay. All right. What are we on now? Demacia? Yeah, we're on Demacia. Okay, Demacia, Petrosite Forest. All units are 15% larger and have 150 bonus health. This really shouldn't change how you play too much. Slightly better if you're going to be playing like Bruisers and Shadow Owls. People have HP scaling. Going to be slightly better, but really shouldn't change much how you play the game. Okay, Demacia House Light Shield. Gain a powerful Crown of Demacia on 2/1. If the wearer dies, you instantly lose the fight. I have not seen this one. I laughed out loud when I read this before filming this video. What the hell? You definitely want to put this on your backline unit, okay? I don't think this really changes too much how you play. Yeah, you want to put in your backline units. Rogues are probably a little bit better on this realm because you know, your rogue can get on backline a little easier and just instantly win the fight. So that's really goofy. Okay, Yawdle Paddles, Bandle City. On the 1st and 5th round of each stage, gain a free high tier unit. 1st and 5th round of each stage. The unit's tier increases with game time. Another one that really benefits more of an aggressive playstyle. Now, obviously, you can sell the unit to make your econ thresholds. If you want to play a little bit weaker early game, that's fine. But, you know, these things are going to help you make a stronger board. And it's a high tier unit. It usually means you get the high tier unit. You kind of like pivot your board around that unit. Usually, you know, especially if it's going to be a 4 cost, that sort of thing, getting it early on in the game, going to slightly benefit a more aggressive playstyle. Now, that's what that is. All right. Bandle City, Bandle Cafeteria. Okay, on a spatula... gain a spatula on 2-1 at shopping start. Units equipped with a spatula emblem or a tactician's crown feed a Poro snack to their closest ally, granting them 7 permanent health. Units will feed. I'm sorry, I'm just reading this more. Units will feed 1 snack per item they have equipped. So this one's going to be slightly better if you're rerolling, because again, permanent health, so you can stack it throughout the game. I don't think this one should change your playstyle too much. Obviously, it's going to be stronger if you're going for emblems. You know, if you're playing Earth and you're getting all those emblems and all that good stuff, it's going to benefit that a little bit more. It's going to benefit a reroll style a little bit more. But I don't think you should like really think about this one too much and changing your playstyle. Okay, Bandle City, Yumi's Zoom Zone. Player combats last 20 seconds instead of 30 before overtime starts. So if you're playing a build that really needs to scale, you're going to be slightly weaker on this map. Honestly, I just need this. We just need more data on this one to really kind of make a definitive judgment on how this would actually change the game. I think this is going to be highly meta dependent. I don't think it's going to change the gameplay too much. Ascension's going to be a little stronger on this map because overtime hits, Ascension hits, and you know, you can really go to town there. So I just need more data on this one. And Scuttle Puddle, this is incorrect. I believe Scuttle Puddle is the one with the crabs, where the crabs are more valuable. So I'm going to assume it's that because they put the wrong thing here. It's a typo. So I believe it's the one where PvE rounds are now Scuttle Crabs, and the Scuttle Crabs don't fight you back, and they give you extra gold, extra items. So again, there's 2 ways to interpret this, because if you're getting a lot of extra items, then it's definitely going to benefit more of an aggressive playstyle. Because you can get extra items to slam, you can get more power earlier on in the game. Awesome. If you're getting a lot of extra gold, you can also still play aggressive. You can use that gold to get early level 6, really punish the people trying to maximize their econ, that sort of thing. But if you're someone who likes to play, you're more of an econ Andy, you know, maybe the meta is more around making stage 4 boards, that sort of thing. Then you're gonna have a lot of extra gold, and so you could take, you know, you could take something like Rich Get Richer and really hit those thresholds really early on in the game. So I think lean really hard into one side or the other. You don't want to be somewhere in the middle, especially when it's on this one. You either want to play really aggressive or you want to play an Econ Andy style, I believe, on this one. Okay, Zon the Sump. There is no interest this game. Instead, starting on 2-1, gain 3 gold every round. So this is just the Hustler augment. So if you guys have never played around the Hustler augment, you want to play aggressive. You want to push levels or use it to like hyper roll your 1 cost or whatever. So you want to be making moves with your gold. Obviously this game, because we don't have to make econ. So play aggressive, whether that be re-rolling a lot of 1 costs really early on in the game to, you know, really make your board, bolster your board, or just like pushing levels as quick as possible, which is usually how I like to play. Okay, Jace's Workshop Piltover. This is the last one. All augments offered this game will be prismatic. You know, take this if you like pain. Stand on this one if you like to make everyone unhappy in the lobby. In high elo, I know a lot of I know low elo likes to play triple prismatic lobbies, but take this if you hate yourself. Yeah, it's just prismatic. Just play around your prismatics. There's nothing really to interpret there. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. But as I was saying, it really seems like a lot of the changes to the game is about making the game more interactive earlier on in the game, which I think is great for the game. I hate metas where you just like sit there and do nothing, and then you roll on stage 2, roll on stage 4, and you go, oh, I didn't hit, guess I lost. Oh, I hit, I guess I win. So I don't like that play style. I think it's really unfun, and I think it's really unfun and really mentally taxing. So I'm really happy with a lot of these realms, and I think this set's really good for players like us, guys. So yeah, anyways, that's all I got. Hey, follow me on Twitch. If you really got a lot of value from this video and you watch Twitch streams, click on that pinned comment, guys. I need more viewers on Twitch, man. I can't get anyone to watch my stream. Guys, I'm entertaining, I'm handsome, I'm funny. I'm actually pretty damn good at the game as well. and I play good music. All right, I'll stop begging. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.